Hello, and welcome to the Wild Weekend Hobby Special. In this episode, we'll be joining people with a passion for historical reenactment, taking a look at the hobby of aeromodelling, jumping off the side of an 18-storey building, cooking with the King of Creole, and picking up more tips on four-wheel driving.
I'm George Cunningham, a member of the Brisbane Powder Club, over all this noise. The gun you just saw firing is a mechanism is called a wheel lock. It's one of the earliest forms of mechanism to fire a projectile weapon. Earliest forms were called hand cannons that came about in the second quarter of the 1300s. Basically, like our cannon we have behind us here, it meant just taking a lit taper and putting it on the gunpowder that would set off the main charge in the barrel. Development was the serpentine lock, which was similar in principle, only it used a clockwork mechanism to put the burning taper onto the gunpowder. The next step was the wheel lock. The wheel lock was a large step forward in development. Locksmiths and clockmakers were the people who produced these because it required a spring. The spring had to be wound up by hand manually each time. There was a wheel with a serrated edge, and a piece of flintstone would sit on that wheel. When you pulled the trigger, the spring was released, the serrated wheel would turn on the flintstone, generating a spark, which would then set off the main charge. The next development, major development after that, was the flintlock. For example, the British Brown Bess flintlock was in service with the British military for approximately 130 years. The modern standards, very archaic, but still it must have been very reliable and very well for its time. The next development after that was called the percussion cap, which is very commonly used here at the range. And that involves a small explosive cap that when a hammer hits it, that sets off the main charge and sets off the gun.
Good morning. I'd like to introduce myself and my two friends here. I'm Rita, this is Jan to my left, and what's your name? We all enjoy our black powder shooting. We're all members of the SSAA and the black powder section. We come here regularly once a month to shoot at Belmont, where we shoot rifle and particularly cannon. You can see Jan and I are decked out in our what we call our cannon uniform, which is representative of the New South Wales regiment that went to New Zealand. We enjoy our cannon shooting, our rendezvous discipline, of which we're all members. We shoot at various rifle ranges throughout the state, and we enjoy the living shooting activities of the 1840s era, the North American mountain man period. Some of us who have English heritage follow the English historical side of things, but we all enjoy the dressing up, campfire cooking, and we live, eat and play games in that era of the 1840s.
How many times have you driven or walked past a location, an object, and thought, that looks really nice or unusual? Now this can be anything from a building to a windmill, maybe even a wagon. Now, now's the time to take out your camera and get creative. You could take a stock standard snapshot, but then you could be missing out on a great opportunity. Where possible, walk around the subject, look at it from different angles, and then decide what looks best. Once you're happy with what you see in the viewfinder, snap away. By taking more than one shot, you've made the most of the opportunity and at the same time given yourself a greater selection of photos to choose from. Nah, too bland, out of focus. Ooh, I like that one. Hi, this morning I'm at the Aero Modelers of Logan City Flying Club and I'm speaking with Paul, and Paul happens to be the Public Relations Officer for the MAAQ. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Not too bad, thanks. Listen, we came past this morning, we heard the buzzing of all these engines and we came to investigate. Can you tell us a little about what's happening here today?
Well, basically this is my club. We fly control line. Control line is a sport where model aeroplanes are flown on lines up to about 60 foot in length. As you can see, we fly around in the circles.
Yep.
It's a contained sport and it's basically the entry level for aero modelling in Queensland.
Right.
And as such, it's quite cost effective compared to other forms of the sport.
Yeah.
Our requirements are a lot less than some of the other ones as far as safety is concerned, because we're tethered. We don't need to meet a lot of the regulations that other clubs have to meet in Queensland. But basically, we welcome anybody, young kids, anybody to pensioners. Our membership ranges from children from 8 to possibly about 68 at the moment.
Gee. And how does somebody actually purchase or build one of these planes? Is it very difficult?
No, aero modelling itself is a skill that you can start with basically from folding a paper aeroplane. The skills involved in that are just then advanced on to building a small model, to larger models, to more detailed models that you would see there. Basically, here we have a stunt aircraft, aerobatics. It's a highly manoeuvrable aircraft. Basically, the principle of control line is very simple. The plane operates off a handle. We have 2 lines coming from the handle, which attach to the side of the wing. And basically, when you pull the handle up or down, the centrifugal force is basically pulling against the lines as such. Us moving the elevators in opposite directions, which gives us the up-down movement of the aircraft. The motors, basically we use a methanol powered motor. This one is a 40 size, very cheap, economical to run and highly powerful and very efficient.
Right. And I noticed the covering of these planes. I mean, in the old days, as I remember, it used to be all rice paper and aero dope placed over the top, but now it looks like some sort of sleek plastic sort of film. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, once again, technology's improved. These days we use solar films, which are just basically a plastic coating that when heated contracts and creates a very strong, very cheap and solid wing.
Well, by the sound of it, Paul, there's a few planes out there that are getting fired up now. Let's go say we take a look.
Well, let's go.